Live, this is News 12 This Morning. On your side.
This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
R&B singer R. Kelly speaking out for the first time since being indicted. We've got sound you'll hear first on News 12, and it is explosive.
And if you're waking up this morning, get ready to bundle up. It looks like cold weather is here at least for a little while. Good morning. It is 6:01 on this Wednesday, and man, it's chilly.
It's chilly for a hump day Wednesday.
It says winter all over that map for sure.
Yes.
We continue to have the freeze warning in effect until 10 o'clock this morning. Widespread, everybody included in the entire viewing area with 20s and 30s that are already with us. Good news, we'll continue to see a warming trend after today, especially for highs going into Friday. We'll get back to a seasonal pattern.
Well, that is some good news. Before we get to that good news, we've got breaking news. Our crews are on the scene of a massive fire in downtown Bamberg. News 12's Alexis Allen live now on Main Street, really in the middle of all of this. Alexis, what is the latest?
Well, I've been speaking with the fire chief all morning. He tells me all of this started around 9:51 last night, so it's been hours. He says that 6 fire crews were on site and 4 buildings were involved. Fire actually started at this building here behind me, which used to be an antique shop, and then it spread over. He says this building here, even with water, they couldn't get the fire contained, so they had to just completely tear it down. Now there's only Bamberg fire crews on site, really monitoring things, checking on those hot spots, making sure this fire doesn't erupt again. He says that no one was injured in this fire, so that's always a good thing.
Absolutely, Alexis. Thanks for staying on top of that for us this morning.
Getting back into that cold look here across the entire viewing area with the freeze warning until 10 o'clock this morning. We'll track that and much more in this cold Wednesday hump day forecast next.
All right, thanks, Tim. Let's take a look at today's top headlines. Crews will be out in Edgefield County this morning as cleanup continues after a tornado tore through that area on Sunday. Starting at 7 o'clock this morning, some lanes around Martintown, Briggs, and Woodlawn roads will be closed as crews clean up anything that's left behind. We also now know about a third tornado that touched down 3 times Sunday in Washington County. The tornado was on the ground for about a mile and a half and was nearly 300 yards wide.
Over in Alabama, the search for victims in Lee County continues. Officials say the list of missing people is 7 or 8. Meanwhile, 23 people we know died after a tornado hit that area. The youngest victim, 6 years old. Relatives say extended family lost a total of 10 members. And President Trump will visit Alabama Friday to survey the damage. Yesterday, he approved federal aid to assist state and local recovery efforts.
The city of Augusta's investigation into the electrocution of a 12-year-old is officially over. The city is working towards rewiring all the lighting out at Fleming Park, where Melquan Robinson was electrocuted last October. Still, though, city officials say they will not release that report, at least not right now.
We will know, but they may not know today, but they will know once the court situation is taken care of.
As far as that rewiring work goes, the city has not selected a contractor yet. They plan to put that project out to bid. Right now, though, they tell us the timeline is, quote, not available.
The Army Corps of Engineers will meet with the public today. This coming after that outrage over the drawdown of the Savannah River. It upset a lot of people on both sides of the river. Both Augusta and North Augusta now have voted to hire a consultant to bring in to help them deal with all of this. The local firm will conduct its own study to see what's best for the river levels and for the fish. If you're interested in attending tonight's meeting, it's downtown at the Marriott from 4 until 6. R&B singer R. Kelly speaking out for the first time since being charged with sexual abuse last month. In an explosive interview with CBS this morning, Kelly denies allegations that he sexually abused 4 people, 3 of them underage girls.
Use your common sense. How stupid would it be for me to, with my crazy past and what I've been through, right now I just think I need to be a monster and hold girls against their will, chain them up in my basement. Quit playing. Robert. I didn't do this stuff.
Kelly is due back in court March 22nd. To watch that full interview, tune into CBS This Morning starting at 7.
Let's take a look at what's happening in other news this morning. Well, there's new hope for those battling severe depression. The FDA has approved a new drug that will be available as a nasal spray. So esketamine is designed for patients who have tried everything, but nothing has helped. Drug makers believe it can help 30 to 40% of patients who do not respond to antidepressants. Well, flying cars still seem like they're in the distant future, right? So Goodyear, though, has already created a tire to help cars fly. So the airless tire is still in the concept stage, but you can see it has bladed spokes that act like a fan, allowing the wheels to flip upward to propel the car into the air. Well, aviation experts doubt that those propeller tire hybrids could actually make it off the ground. So we'll have to wait and see.
It's pretty to look at, though.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, you doubt that it's actually going to make it off the ground. But as you were saying earlier, they are doing all of this to spark conversation about this whole thing.
And we were just talking, Tesla is saying self-driving cars are going to be here in less than a year.
That's been the big talk of the
so.
autonomous cars. Ones that
flying cars seems too far out.
Start with the ones that will be on the ground, then start working up.
Hey, how about that?
Hey, I'll be a tester, though. I'd be happy to go out there. And
Really?
Sure, why not?
Really?
So the tires are going to be a propeller.
To fly the cars, not to sit in the ones that aren't going to stop.
Okay.
Get me in an open field. You know what I mean?
With no other cars around.
That's right. DeLorean did it back in the 80s. Why not? Ready? Good grief. It's been decades. Let's go.
We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, this morning, frustration and anger boiling in Sacramento. Protests spark over Stephon Clark's death. Why activists say justice was not served.
Live. This is News 12 This Morning. On your side.
A former daycare worker facing more charges after multiple parents accuse her of abusing their children.
Plus, if your kids go to school in Richmond County, you could see some big changes next year. We'll tell you what you can expect.
And ladies, if your mind is constantly exhausted at work, new research suggests it could lead to serious consequences in the long run.
Lots to get to this morning. It is 6 o'clock on this Hump Day Wednesday, first official day of spring.
And it's also International Happiness Day.
Oh man, that's a real combination.
That is a combination.
And you can get a free cone at Dairy Queen.
You can. We've got a full moon
not
tonight.
To be happy about.
Yeah.
Super moon, 3 in a row, 3 months in a row. Boy,
wow.
all of Wednesday just seems immaculate, doesn't it?
Still cold,
you
though.
look forward to? Yeah, it is cold.
Around freezing right now. It is around freezing. We're at the frost advisories that are in effect as temperatures continue, mainly about 32 to 35 degrees. Warming trend really starts to take effect tomorrow. We're looking at that warm up in the 70s, heading on into the weekend shortly. Back to you both.
All right, thanks for that, Tim. Let's take a look at today's top headlines. A former daycare worker is expected to turn herself in today to face 4 new charges. This comes after more parents reported their kids were abused by this woman you see in the video. You're looking at the parents right now. Wendy Nelson allegedly abused the children at multiple daycares in North Augusta. She now faces a total of 9 charges. She was first arrested last week after a video surfaced showing what appeared to be the alleged abuse.
Augusta Commissioner Bill Fenoy speaking out about his decision not to stand for the pledge. Fenoy says he's recently received some hate mail and threats. He took to commission yesterday to explain his views.
Some of y'all don't understand what I have gone through, the bigotry and the hatred. And it is difficult for me to respect a flag that doesn't respect me.
Commissioner Fenoy added while he does support military and the law enforcement, he will not stand for the pledge. You can hear more from his speech on our website at WRDW.com.
People over in District 5 are waking up to a new Augusta commissioner this morning. Last night, Bobby Williams beat 3 other opponents with 496 votes. Williams says he's looking forward to serving the people.
I really want to be someone in the community that the people can count on to help move the district forward. I'm pretty confident I can do the job and work with the others as well as the mayor.
Well, Williams is filling Andrew Jefferson's seat, who died last November.
In Columbia County, voters also hit the polls yesterday. 3,000 people voted yes to continue the education sales tax. That money going toward new schools, buses, technology. In Richmond County, some changes as well. School officials voting yesterday to close some schools and open some new ones. And some schools will also be remodeled for a different use altogether. Now, we've got a full list of all the changes online.
A 15-year-old boy has been missing now for 10 days. Take a good look at your screen here. Richmond County deputies tell us that Jeremiah Emery was last seen wearing a blue hoodie with white stripes. If you have any information, you're asked to call the sheriff's office. That number is at the top of your screen.
New policies for Richmond County deputies after these 5 officers were arrested within a month. The sheriff's office employees are no longer allowed to drink alcohol 8 hours before their shift. The sheriff also emphasizing that no one should drive under the influence on or off duty. This after 2 of the deputies were arrested for DUI. Also, assistance programs and support groups will be in place to help officers deal with issues ranging from alcohol to drugs to depression and relationships.
Live, this is News 12 at 5:30 on your side.
Trains in Jefferson County running again, and the railroad track has been repaired. This just days after almost 40 train cars derailed, spilling chemicals into the air. We are just getting a copy of that 911 audio tape from the night it happened. Take a listen.
Operator Edwards calling from Norfolk Southern Railroad Police Department. Calling to see if we can get responding units to respond to the area Newman Smith Road or Hurd Bridge Road. Okay. Are there any injuries, sir? Unknown.
That 911 call came in from Norfolk Southern, the railroad police, at 8:22 exactly Sunday night. Now evacuation for Bartow, those orders went out more than 2 hours later at 10:40. We're also learning from the dispatch report that train was hauling 30 cars worth of chlorine. So it really is a miracle that this wasn't deadly. The railroad company, Norfolk Southern, says they removed the last 5 train cars left on the tracks last night around 11:30. Our Leah Fernandez is back out in Bartow today. She's got the latest from the scene.
Today has been pretty slow. Train crews were able to get the 5 remaining chlorine tankers off the tracks and in a safe location until they can move them out of town. Officials say things are running smoothly. Coming up at 5 and 6, we hear how the investigation is going and whether you need to be concerned for your health. In Bartow, Leah Fernandez, on your side.
News 12 on your side. Breaking news.
We do begin with that breaking news out of Aiken County. A young mother and her baby are missing. Aiken County deputies say 16-year-old Sierra Miller and 8-month-old baby Xavian were last seen more than a month ago.
Now, Sierra's family says she has run away from their home in Aiken before, but they haven't spoken to her in about a week now. So if you have any information on their whereabouts, call the Aiken County Sheriff's Office. And there's the number on the screen, 803-648-6811. Also today, Grovetown Mayor Gary Jones put up a Facebook post last Monday, and it got a lot of backlash. The mayor announcing a plan to round up all the city's sex offenders in City Hall on Halloween night.
A lot of you were talking about it. Now a national organization is responding by creating a nationwide Halloween hotline for sex offenders. Our Laura Puglisi is live in the newsroom. And Laura, tell us more about this hotline.
Well, the National Association for Rational Sexual Offense Laws, also known as NARSAL, says that the roundup in Grovetown prompted them to take action this Halloween. They've organized a nationwide Halloween hotline to hold local governments and law enforcement agencies accountable.
Now, so Laura, legally, is there anything in this Grovetown situation that might be illegal, that might be against the law?
Well, they believe it's more a bit of a gray area. Sometimes it may be legal, sometimes not. And we're looking more into that on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
A lot of questions still with this. Thanks for clearing that up, Laura.
Much more news to come, but to weather now, and no complaints on a day like today.
No, it was gorgeous.
These kind of days are the ones we wish would last forever. Blue sky out there, temperatures in the 70s. We've got details on a warm-up, though. Yeah, warmer weather's headed this way coming up.
Thanks, Kevin. A student killed by a classmate in a shooting on a North Carolina campus this morning. It happened at Butler High School in Matthews, North Carolina. That's just outside Charlotte. The victim, now identified as a 16-year-old Bobby McKeithen. 2 students were fighting before class. That was in a crowded hallway.
We're incredibly saddened by the fact that we've had a loss of life on one of our campuses today. So first of all, our hearts go out to the larger community and to all of the young people who witnessed this tragedy today. There were many kids in the hallways where this took place.
Police have identified that suspected shooter as 16-year-old Jatwan Cuffey. He's charged with first-degree murder.
A man is behind bars accused of killing one of two men whose bodies were found in Edgefield County. 29-year-old Gabriel Curry has been arrested in connection to the death of Dakota Calhoun. The victim's family says the two were cousins. Calhoun's body was found off Edgefield Road earlier this month. 5 days later, another man's body was found not even a mile away. Family tells us Curry lives about a mile from where both bodies were found.
Politics now, and midterm elections are just 8 days away. Friday is the last day to vote early in Georgia. Officials in both Richmond and Columbia counties seeing a record number for midterm elections.
Oh, there is definitely some local races you'll want to keep in mind, including Richmond County Board of Education. Our Alexa Lytle talked to the candidates running for District 3. It is the only school board race without an incumbent.
A husband and wife running for the same seat, although they wouldn't call it competing.
It's all about choice with us. You know, you may like my wife more and her viewpoints or how she speaks or her passion with it, or you might like my passion.
There's just a week left for District 3 voters to decide which of the four they want. Alexa Lytle, on your side.
District 3 is certainly going to be interesting with a husband and wife running there against each other. In that school board race, Districts 2, 6, 7, and 9 are also on the ballot, but each of those does have an incumbent running.
In District 2, though, Willie Robinson is running against incumbent Charlie Hanna. In District 6, A.K. Hassan is running against the incumbent Jack Paget. District 7, Tom Kaluowski is running against the incumbent Charlie Walker, and in District 9, Ricky Lumpkin against the incumbent there, Venus Kane. Some other important races that you'll want to keep an eye out for. There are so many. In Georgia, of course, the governor's race. That is between Democrat Stacey Abrams and Republican Brian Kemp. Congressman Jody Hice's seat is also up for re-election. He faces Democrat Tabitha Johnson Green. Congressman Rick Allen's seat is also up. He is running against a Democrat, Frances Johnson.
In South Carolina, there's also an important race for governor and lieutenant governor. Henry McMaster and Pamela Evett running together on the Republican ticket. James Smith and Mandy Norrell are the Democrats in the race for governor in South Carolina.
And for those of you voting in South Carolina, you who cannot make it to the polls, you can vote early with an absentee ballot. You can get one of those either in person or you can request it by mail. All absentee ballots must be returned by 5 p.m. next Monday, November 5th. You can find information on how to do that on our website or on our WRDW app.
Democratic candidate for Georgia Governor Stacey Abrams makes a stop in the Augusta area today. Going to show you video from Warren County. Abrams has made national headlines this past couple of weeks. She claims Republican candidate Brian Kemp's office, which monitors voter registration, is unlawfully holding more than 50,000 voter applications around the state. He denies that. If elected, Abrams would be the first African-American female governor in U.S. history. Vice President Mike Pence heading our way as well in that same race. He'll be here Thursday campaigning for Secretary of State Brian Kemp. That campaign rally is set for 2:30 until 3:30 at the Columbia County Exhibition Hall in Grovetown. We have all this election information for you on the app and online at WRDW.com.
Another suspicious package intercepted this morning. This time it was addressed to the CNN headquarters in Atlanta. That package was intercepted at an Atlanta post office. It never made it to the CNN studio. CNN reported the package was, quote, similar to the others. 56-year-old Caesar Saviak was in court today, where he was formally charged for sending 14 pipe bombs to prominent Democrats. If convicted, he could spend up to 48 years in prison.
It's like a report card for local schools. The result of the 2018 College and Career Ready Performance Index are out. This is a statewide test used to grade schools all across Georgia.
It's a big deal. Richmond County got an overall district score of 68.3. That's out of 100. Columbia County scored an 84.3. Now this year, the state made some changes to how they grade each school, and our Brooke Zahner breaks that down for us.
So the CCRPI is basically a statewide report for every school and district in the state of Georgia. So the overall state score is 76.6 based on a 100-point scale. Well, this year, the way the state graded schools changed. So this year's CCRPI capped out at 100 points and graded only on 4 focus areas for elementary and middle schools and 5 focused areas for high schools. Parents, the Georgia Department of Education also revamped their website, making it easier for you to look up your child's school. We have a link on our website, and we have more on this at WRDW.com or the News 12 app.
Thank you for that, Brooke. The CCRPI also is what determines which schools get help from the Chief Turnaround Officer. That new position was created to help schools that need extra help. That officer chooses which schools to help.
Right now, there are 13 Richmond County schools on the 2017 list. The Georgia Department of Education says that list should be updated later this week. And of course, we'll be watching.
Yes, we will. Still to come, first at 5. A North Carolina woman's drunken rant leaves her without a job. Here's what someone who heard it all has to say.
So upsetting to know that today we still have this overt racism that's going on in 2018.
And we'll tell you what happened after a quick break. Kevin.
Richard, this time of year, the temperature changes sometimes a lot from one day to the next. That's going to be happening here. We've got some very mild air coming at us just in time for Halloween. Will it be a costume change? We'll talk about it coming up.